pretty incredible moment for us as a club to recognize our partnership and twin club relationship with Manila, to have the honor of having Ambassador Babe introduce Jackie, who's just an incredible Rotarian. And one note about the Manila Club was, speaking of the polio initiative, was the genesis for starting that initiative. So we see such—
I didn't know that.
we see such incredible opportunities in the development of some of the projects that Jackie will be speaking of today. But I think the ambassador actually has a video that he prepared for the introduction.
Good afternoon to our Rotary Club of Washington, D.C., and thank you very much for inviting me to this meeting today. Unfortunately, I cannot join you today, but I do look forward to when we could meet again. Because of previous commitments, I'm sorry that I won't be able to be with you, but I do hope in our commitment to serve communities, provide goodwill, and create lasting change in everything that we do, both in and outside of the Rotary Club, we continue to remain safe and healthy. I am proud to have peers and fellows that promote integrity, solitude, and compassion despite the bleak and depressing global scene we have today. And no one embodies these ideals as much as the person I am about to introduce. He once shared to the public that his motivation in life is to make this world a little better. Today, I am given the honor to introduce an outstanding community leader and a very close friend of mine, Joaquin Jackie Rodriguez. He has been and continues to be recognized as a significant pillar in his community and in the Rotary Club of Manila. He is currently a member and a district chairman of the Rotary Foundation Arts Clump Society and the vice chair for the Rotary National Clean Waters Movement. He is also an honorary consul of the Republic of Serbia in the Philippines, and she has been so since 2004. He previously served as champion president from 2019 to 2020 and has long been a trustee of the Rotary Club Manila Foundation Incorporated and was recognized as the overall most outstanding club president and awardee of the prestigious Leon Lambert Legacy Award, and was Rotary Club Manila's most outstanding star Rotarian in 2017. The list goes on and on for this many other accomplishments. As a leader, Jackie has always been recognized in various development sectors. Namely, has received the distinguished awards in the areas of peace or peace building and conflict prevention, disease prevention and treatment, water sanitation and hygiene, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, community economic development, and environmental support. So much more that can be said about Jackie, but I do want to say and I don't want to take up the whole program because I know you've got something ahead of you in listening to our good friend, Jackie Rodriguez. Truly, I am proud to have him as a fellow friend like Jackie. Before I close, I also would like to convey my warmest congratulations to Jackie, who recently welcomed the arrival of his great-grandson. May you have continued good health, joy, and blessings. And so, I'd like to introduce our good friend, Joaquin Jackie Rodriguez.
Thank you very much, Babe, a good friend for many, many years. I'd like to greet you, Bill, President Bill Dent, immediate past President Nancy Rucker, whom we've had an opportunity to work with, my good friend from Serbia, Dejan Tomasevic, and of course, past District Governor Mayang Mercado from Cavite, of course, District Governor Rudy Habesh from India, and of course, my dear, very dear, and she's family to me, Governor Lisa Elorde. I also would like to welcome from the Department of Foreign Affairs from Manila, my good friend Ed Castro, and of course, my good friend Ambassador to be Teng Catalan. We can't forget Fernando, my good friend Fernando from Calcutta, president of the Rotary Club of Calcutta, Centennial Club. Fernando, happy to see you here. Today is truly a momentous day, an occasion for both our clubs to bond once again and to further strengthen the unique relationship that our clubs have had and binded us strongly for over 100 years. In over 100 years, we have had 3 Rotary Club members speak to the Rotary Club of Washington, D.C. This distinct honor was first given to Rotary Club with the speaking engagement of the 4th President of the United Nations, His Excellency Ambassador Carlos P. Romlo, when he spoke to you after the war. The second speaker was none other than the gentleman who just introduced me, your honorary member and our ambassador to the United States, Babe Romualdez. Thank you very much, Babe. I stand today here before you humbly and proud, however, of my Philippine American heritage and blood. As an American, I'm as sweet as Coca-Cola and as American as apple pie and as nourishing as your hamburger. My mother's family, the Capons of Topsfield, like all pilgrims, came to America to fulfill their dreams and destiny on the Mayflower, while seeking hope, freedom, and a new way of life in this here, your great country. My ancestors landed in Dorchester, Massachusetts in 1650s and were assigned to the parsonage in Topsfield, Massachusetts, where practically my whole family on my American side hails from. My maternal family name, Capon, is familiar in many, many learning institutions, including Capon Hall and the Charles Capon School, and also of historic value is the Parson Capon House in Topsfield, Massachusetts, built in 1641 and still standing till today. I visited that many years ago, and I had goosebumps all over me, seeing my relatives on the wall and the history of the family, from military to presidents of Harvard, Dartmouth, Yale. It was with great pride that I walked through the halls of this home, 400 years old. I belong to one of the many families that came to the Philippines seeking a new life at the onset of the 1900s, when we were part of America. The people that came, many of them Thomasites, who came to teach. Others were government functionaries, others were businessmen, others just looking for a new way of life in a new country. Some of them stayed and loved the beauty and the glory of our pristine 7,000 islands, so much so that they stayed. One of those was my mother, who married the son of the governor of Davao. At that time, they were living in Zamboanga and Davao. Unfortunately, the Second World War caught my mother at the age of 25 in a very intractable situation. She was captured, incarcerated, declared a prisoner of war, tortured, interrogated, beaten up, and jailed for 2 years. And to protect me, the Highland natives of Kalinga took me from the tobacco plantation of my father in the village of Tuao, and hid me in the secluded valley of Kalinga. Amidst the turmoil of the war and the separation from my family, I found a new peace, beauty, and tranquility in a home of nature. I realized the indispensable value of trees and rivers and everything that had to do with life. In the times I visited Kalinga as I was growing up, I saw a pristine land full of beauty that I still love and maintain close to my heart till this very day. From the God-given creatures such as the wildcats that fed from our special coffee, to the bees that gave us fruits and honey and butterflies and cicadas and pygmy deer and colorful birds. What a beautiful hidden paradise surrounded by guarded protection of centuries of 7 magnificent, beautiful volcanoes. Some volcanoes of which my company is now developing to produce 125 megawatts of clean and clear power. As a child, I learned that clean rivers give us pure waters and food for our nourishment, a source of life today. That clean waters produces healthy vegetables and wonderful fishes. Clean waters quench our thirst and give us what's needed to irrigate our fields properly. I learned that trees give us medicines and fruits and condiments and flowers and vitamins. That trees hold in our soil together the strength to stop erosion. That they store hundreds and even thousands of gallons of water in their root system. That they cool the environment much the same way an air condition would cool your room or your homes. Trees clean the air by absorbing carbon dioxide and converting it to what we breathe. Life-giving oxygen. That trees give us fuel for cooking and wood to build our furnitures and our homes. I learned that birds and monkeys and many animals make trees their homes. These trees protect us from terrible typhoons, from the earth leaving its place through erosion. And that trees give us water in times of drought. As a young age, I learned to love trees, that they were a special gift of the good Lord to us, and that we must care for them as they care for us. It is for this reason that I admire the great work that you, my fellow Rotary friends of the amazing and great club of Washington, D.C., the work you're doing in your capital city in this great country, America, a tree for every speaker. What a wonderful project. But I wish you'd stop calling it a project, because projects are a function of the Rotary structure, because we change leaders every year. I make all my projects programs so that they last and extend through 3 or 4 or 5, 6, and hopefully 10 presidents. Every project I've started, I made sure they were sustainable. We have the ambassadors program, where we assigned 2 ambassadors, 2 to the Rotary Club of Washington, D.C. My son, my third son, Sean Rodriguez, who's a member of the Rotary Club of Manila, and your very own former member, Marvin Taylor. He represents the Rotary Club of Manila to your club. And you have appointed to us Jamie Finch, what a great guy, and Brian Ingram. I love these 2 guys. And we work together very closely. Under the name of program, I also started the cancer-stricken children assistance at the Philippine General Hospital, where we've been able to help thousands of kids below the age of 14 who were dying at the rate of 92% of the ones coming in because of the lack of budget from the government. What a shame. Today, Dr. John Cutter is now the chairman of this program. We also started together with Fernando of Calcutta, my good friend, and Terry of Shanghai, the Rotary Club of Washington, D.C., with Nancy, Seattle. We started the Circle Centennial Rotary Clubs. We're approaching now 20 centennial clubs worldwide, fast approaching. And this will be a core group, and it's sustainable. It's going to be able to help us in many things. I hope that we convert your project that you're calling a tree for every speaker into a program, because projects are temporal, but I would like to adopt this program and make it part of the Rotary Club of Manila. I hope our president, who's here with us today, Chito Saldarriaga, will approve this. I'm requesting through the Rotary Environmental and Ecological Strategy, of which I'm the national chairman in the whole country, your permissible validation that we in the Philippines be granted your allowance to follow through with this terrific program nationally with our 1,016 clubs in our 7,000 islands, giving us 600,000 trees a year or 6 million trees in 10 years. Amazing and historic. Give us that permission to copy this program, and we shall do and we shall deliver, and we will honor you for this permission. My dear friends in Rotary, your Rotary Club of Washington, D.C., you're a powerful club, and yet you're selling yourself potentially short. Use your strength. You are the most powerful club in the United States. You sit right in the capital city. You're not only a Rotary Centennial Club, you're the main club of Washington, D.C. That's where leaders that rule work. That's where they sleep, and that's where they live. This is where your laws are made. Laws that affect you and me, and whether you like it or not, laws that affect the rest of the world. You hold it in your ability and your geographic situation to reach out to these powers. Many of them that sit in Congress are neighbors of some of your members. Many of them are your members. It is here where we can work together in this generation for the world, not only for us, for you, or for any particular, but for the world. It's not too late. Use your united strength and cohesive power to implement what's good for your country, and in so doing for the world. Push for the laws and the implementation of those laws. We have learned too soon enough that these actions are necessary, because without them, your wishes and desires for a better world, a better ecology, will have no bite, no strength, and little power. In cleaning our waters and ponds and lakes and rivers and shorelines in the Philippines, which were amongst the filthiest in the world, the members of the Rotary Club of Manila, led by Tony Aposa and attorney Beta Fajardo, went all the way to the Supreme Court to seek mandamos in order for the government to clean our waterways. In other words, we did battle with our own government. And we won. We got this monumental order against the national government. The Rotary Club of Manila won. And we started working at different levels to bring the government to act and to implement the mandamos. And this mandamos with the cohesive action of Rotary philanthropist Bobby Joseph, the builder of homes and for the homeless, the famous Tony Maloto, and myself, supported by Rotarians all over the country, including the beloved governor of 3810, got the mandate from the Supreme Court, and the rest was history. And the government acted in full force in support of the laws of that act. Today, Manila Bay is returning to its past glory. Our rivers are cleaner, our lakes as well, our shorelines, our estuaries, and people are more aware and concerned and conscious of the need to maintain our waterways, our water resources for the benefit of each and every one and for all. And fishermen are smiling from ear to ear with bigger and healthier catches, and the housewives are going to the market spending less for their fishes. There's less sickness, an abundance of seafood, birds, cleaner sea breeze, and more tourists. My dear friends, in our Rotary program for trees, the Rotary Club of Manila is working closely with Congress to bring about laws to implement the planting of trees nationally. I structured it that way for a good reason. Like I told you earlier, we must work our programs with laws, benefits awareness, and education. Those four things, I call it the BELLA program. To begin teaching environmental studies in the 5th grade, to give those benefits to the people that planted the trees. This will give unemployed people who wished to earn the opportunity of earning money by planting trees where trees are needed, to make the public aware of the value and importance of trees. This Rotary effort has passed the first reading in the Senate. These laws will make a big difference in our future generations. We already have laws that are very effective. For instance, one cannot graduate from high school and get his diploma without proof of having planted 10 trees. This is approximately 10 million trees a year. When our actions are supported by the laws of the land, when education empowers our citizens, when awareness gives us the impetus to act, when we realize the benefits of our objectives, then and only then, like an unrelenting crescendo, can the symphony of our actions create that marching cadence, more and more Rotary centurions to act and protect our God-given world. Long live the members of the Rotary Club of Washington, D.C., and long live America. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat, and thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Jackie, thank you so much for those words. You truly have inspired through action, and I'm very impressed by all that you've accomplished. You've led by example. So I'd like to open it to questions.
Yes, Jackie, thank you for being here again. Powerful words, powerful actions, which are even more important than the words. But looking at the massive plantings in the Philippines, what can we do in the world of Rotary among the 36,000 clubs to attempt to have every club involved in this process and contribute to this, not only for the Filipino project, but also in their own home countries?
I've learned, I'm 80 years old, but sometimes I think I'm 25. But I've learned that if we start in the Philippines and we're able to convert things in the Philippines and make our land and our rivers cleaner, our land filled with trees, people will follow. They'll copy it. Malaysia will copy it for sure. And they've been cutting trees in Borneo like it's going out of style. But when they see that there's value in tourism, there's value in beauty, there's a lot to be earned, more from keeping a tree alive than from cutting it down. Certainly much more. I worked in Spain for many years, and I saw how bad it was there and what had to be done. It made me cry when I saw how that was. And the United States has so much area to plant. Awareness, education, benefits, and laws will create that, and people will copy it. Different governments will copy it, because if they don't, the tourists won't go to their place. They'll have unemployment. Good environment creates jobs. Fishermen will have bigger catches. Farmers will have better fruits. People will be healthier. There's so much to gain. When you cut a tree in an area, and I've seen this, with my own eyes, when the rains come, the topsoil comes down. What's left is what's between the topsoil and the basalt rock or the adobe rock. All that goes after a few years. As rains come, they continue to erode. When you hit the adobe, then you really have a big problem, because now that's going to be very hard for a tree to take root, because that little tree, like a little baby, doesn't have the strength to push its roots through that rock. And then you have a real problem. And the waters will keep on going down to the rivers and estuaries, killing the fishes, destroying them. That's been going on all over. If you come to Manila Bay today, after the work that the Rotary Club of Manila has done there, together with clubs from District 3810, you'll see how clean it is and how beautiful it is now. And tourists are going there, and fishermen are earning much more money. This has to be done. And, you know, I've seen places in LA. I saw Los Angeles in 1959, 1960, 61. It's so beautiful, so clean. I'm so disappointed. I've seen so much garbage in the streets. People don't seem to care for this beautiful world that God gave us to live in. And if that continues to happen, we won't need any wars to destroy us. We're going to destroy ourselves. You know, we really have to wake up to this. And Rotary, I'm glad they finally passed the 7th pillar. I had long talks with Maloney when he came here. I was just host in Manila and had the opportunity to chat with him. I said, we got to get environment and ecology behind us. The world is crying for it. I'm sorry, I should have answered you in 1 or 2 sentences, but I got carried away.
That's a fantastic answer.
Jackie,
Fantastic
yeah,
answer, Jackie. Thank you very much.
yeah. Thank you very much. And I speak as a fellow environmentalist and tree hugger. I've devoted my last 20 years specifically to the environment. And I'm delighted too that Rotary International has finally added the environment as a focus area. I want to turn it.
If you have 2-3 minutes, I'd like to explain to you a new program I have that you can spread throughout the United States, and you can take the lead. And we'll be partners with you. We'll help you. And you can do this without spending a penny. And it will help all America. It will be the new Paul Bunyan of America. Let the Rotary Club of Washington, D.C. be the new Paul Bunyan of America. By God, you can do this. Look, we have a program in the Philippines. And this started because of my failure in 1981 to succeed in planting 23 million trees. We planted them. I didn't know what I was doing. And we went back a year later. The trees we planted, about 15-20% were still alive. I went back 3 years later, and all I saw was stumps. And at that time was president of a mining company called Benguet, and we were producing gold. And I really was angry. You know, I was very angry. And I thought about, how can I do this? I came up with a formula. And if you can adopt this, Bill, it would be great for the United States.
I'm all ears. And we'll talk more about it offline later. I think this would be another great project along with the Trees for the World with Brian Ingram. Okay. And Dr. Sam.
I'll share it with you, and we'll do it together with District 3810.
Sounds great. And I just want to give 2 of our members who have Filipino roots a chance. I'll start with Arel Olano and then Philip Luma.
Thank you, President Bill. Jackie, thank you very much. My name is Errol Olano. I'm from Davao originally, and I'm a member here in, yes, Mabuhay. Your speech and your photos were quite amazing, and I got very emotional with it, and makes me want to go home sooner. I can't wait for this pandemic to be over. And I promise to attend the Rotary Club of Manila when I'm there. And I did see the changes in Manila Bay. And a message to all the Rotary Club members of DC, yes, the Philippines is the best islands in the world, no doubt. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear friend.
Philip, you had your hand up there on the screen.
Thank you, Mr. President. So myself, I'm so impressed by Jackie's speech. I'm from Rotary Club of Kisumu, and that is Western Kenya. I was just asking, we have a project that we do with the Rotary and Rotary clubs in Uganda. So I was just wondering if Jackie, if you wouldn't mind to be maybe a speaker to some of our clubs and just give us the spirit to plant more trees, because we aim to do 10,000 trees in 5 years. 10 million trees, I mean.
It will be a great honor for me to help any club in Africa. I had the honor to speak for the Rotary Club in Kenya, in Nairobi. And I've spoken on ecology and several clubs in Europe and several clubs here. I spoke in a planting community called Apopka in Florida, and in the Rotary Club of Orlando and several other clubs. I'd be very happy to speak to you.
Maybe
you can get my
Appreciate that.
Brian, I can get your details so that maybe you would organize how you can give us the speech online.
Okay, we'll help in that regard. Okay, we'll
Okay.
be in touch. We'll facilitate that. We only have a minute or two left, a minute really. Brian Ingram.
I wanted to keep my comments brief. I know we only have a few more minutes, but Jackie, you are, it's an absolute honor to call you a friend. You are an absolute champion for this planet. Your passion, your intent, your action, you've set the bar very high, my friend. And I just want to say thank you for your commitment to our planet, to your community, to your family. And again, it's an honor to call you a friend. And we are absolutely committed. Your message deeply resonated with everyone that was on this call today from across the world. We're 100% committed to aligning with you and your vision together with for the Trees for the Capital and the World and this program, and also for the initiative. Just so that you're aware, we've started conversations, Linda Solomon, who's on this phone call, internally as our committee on starting to look at the trees program for the students to plant those trees as a requirement, as a part of their graduation. And we see tremendous value in that. And we're 100% on board.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I want to thank the Rotary Club of Washington, D.C. for making me an honorary member. I'm very proud of that. I'm very happy for it. And I shall be a good member to you. I intend to visit you and attend your meetings. Thank you very much, Bill.
Jackie, it's great to have you. Thanks again for your inspiration and leading by example. We look forward as a club to working with the Rotary Club of Manila and with you personally and the others. And speaking of trees, we have this tradition you may have heard about called Trees for the Capital, now Trees for the World, where we plant a tree in the honor of each of our speakers. And thank you for being our speaker today. Normally, if we were meeting in person, I would hand you a tree certificate. We can make that arrive somehow to you. But in any case, I will be inviting you to our next tree planting ceremony, whether you can make it or not. You'll be with us in spirit. That'll probably be in November. And we'll actually be able to tell you where your tree is, either on the tidal basin or along the mall, one of our downtown parks. So again, it's a great honor to have you with us. We look forward to working with you. And with that, I call the meeting adjourned, but I ask those who would like to linger for a few more minutes. If Jackie, you're willing to stay a few more minutes, I know it's very late there, to just have a kind of one-on-one kind of chat. Okay, so
I'd love to. Yeah. I never sleep.
I get that impression.
Sleep's a waste of time.
To do. Yes. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us today. This has been wonderful, real inspiration, Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Bill.